to introduce our next speaker. His name is Nati Sang. He's the founder of Makerspace. He's an IT entrepreneur. He's been here for 15 years from Chicago. Former monk, Lego instructor, and a Thailand wonder. He created Makerspace. It's an innovation lab for everybody. He's wowed crowds at TEDx and elsewhere, and now it's our turn. Nati?
Thank you. Thank you. So let me pull up my presentation really quick. And today what I'm ultimately going to be talking about is air pollution and what we can do about it. I think that's something that everyone in the room wants to know a little bit more about. So again, I'm Nati Sang. So yeah, I'm originally from the US. I was born in Chicago, grew up in California, but now I lived here in Thailand about a little over 15 years. In Chiang Mai specifically over about 6 years now. So here in Chiang Mai, I created this thing called Makerspace Thailand. We're an innovation center for the community. What we do is we have like a space and a workshop for people to come. You can join it as a member, and you can come and use all of our tools. So we have things like 3D printers and laser cutters, but we also have traditional tools as well, such as a wood shop, metal shop, and people come in, they just use our stuff. Basically, as we understand that oftentimes tools are very expensive for people to own. So what we do is we provide tools just at the cost of membership. Our cheapest membership is 1,500 baht, and people can come in and just use our tools. We've had over 300 members to date. Our youngest member is 6 years old. Our oldest member is 80 years old. They come from all walks of life. Some are entrepreneurs, they create new businesses for themselves. Some people are just retirees, they just want to keep their minds active. And some people, they just want to decorate their house. So they come from everywhere. We've been featured on CNN. We've had every cabinet member of the Thai government come by. We've even had the US ambassador come by. Let's see, well, we don't need to watch the video. So, for example, we've had a lot of entrepreneurs come in. There's this guy here, his name is Johnny. He's from Canada. He came to our shop and he used our tools to prototype a new type of coffee cup. This coffee cup is shaped like a wine glass. It's there to help enhance the aroma of coffee and make it taste better. And then he threw it up on Kickstarter, and then, or in this case, Indiegogo first. And then he raised about $250,000. And then from there, he put it on Kickstarter, and then he raised an additional $300,000. So from his idea, he prototyped it at the Makerspace, tried out all these different variations using our tools, and then he put it out on the market, and now he's made over like $500,000 for himself. And now it's being shipped all over the world, and now he's going to be putting it on Amazon. Or we have a bunch of digital nomads that come through our shop. Now, some people think, oh, well, digital nomads are a bunch of glorified backpackers. And yeah, they're like that. But I mean, there's some people that are really good quality. So, for example, one guy, he's like, oh, he was in Chiang Mai. He saw, well, wait a minute, there's like some cocoa pots and stuff here in Chiang Mai. Why aren't we making chocolate in Chiang Mai? And no one knew. So he's like, well, I know how to make chocolate. So he decided to come back to Chiang Mai and stay. And he's like, well, now I have to make chocolate somehow. So he's like, well, okay, usually machines to make chocolate are very expensive, but he had access to a makerspace. So he saw all these tools and stuff. So he bashed out this thing out of wood. And, so this is a nib separator. So what you do is when you make the chocolate, you have to crush the beans, and then you have to separate all the shells because you can't eat the shells. You don't want to eat that. So in this machine here, you kind of just pour it down here, and then there's a vacuum system, and it sucks off all the shells, and what you have left is all the chocolate nibs. And you're like, okay. And usually these things cost like $1,000 or something just for one machine. And he came to the shop and he just bashed it out. It cost him something more like 500 baht to put together. So, and then he's like, okay. Well, then he started making things like this, and then he started selling them. And now he's created this chocolate brand called Chiang Mai. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's a bean bar chocolate company. It's all organic. And he started off at the Makerspace. And then he started selling them in the farmers markets and whatnot. And now he's being sold in the Four Seasons Hotel down in Bangkok. Now he's taking the stuff all over the world. Now he's been winning awards. Now I think he recently won a silver and a bronze medal at the World Chocolate Festival. And it's all here from Chiang Mai, and it's made possible because he had an idea and he can make it happen because he had access to a makerspace. But I'm not here to just talk about makerspace. I'm here more to talk about the air pollution that we have. So now a couple of years ago, I saw that we had a lot of smoke pollution problems here in Chiang Mai. Actually, it's been happening now, I believe, for over 10 years. And I thought, well, okay, this is a bit of a problem. And the thing is, though, I didn't really trust the government censors. Yeah, you laugh because, it's true. Because, for some reason, the air, you can't see, like, the mountain, but for some reason, the government is saying, well, no, the air is perfectly fine. And you're like, well, no, that can't be true. So what we did is, okay, we had a makerspace, we know how to make electronics, so we put together this device, we call it the air tricorder, and it can measure air instantly wherever you are. And, this was Chiang Mai, that was Chiang Mai 2 years ago, this is Chiang Mai last year. It was 432 outside the shop, AQI. If you don't know, you have to be below 50 points to be healthy, and this is 432. In some places we're reporting over 500. So we know that the air is poisonous, not just bad. This is unhealthy levels. This is beyond what you should be breathing. Way, way, way beyond. So, okay, so then some people are like, well, I have a mobile app. So I can just look at my mobile app and I can see how bad the air is in Chiang Mai per day. Okay, fine. So, first of all, okay, you look at your app and you don't know where that station is exactly. You don't know where it's put. You don't know the conditions it's stored in. And the thing is, though, they say, okay, well, if the air is bad outside, just go inside. Right? Just go inside and you'll be fine. And it's like, okay, so you go inside and you look at your app and you say, okay, see, I'm safe now. I turn on the air, it's nice and cool. The thing is, though, that you have things like doors and windows, and PM 2.5 is so small, it's going to penetrate your rubber seals. That's how small it is. It's so small that it goes into your lungs and it'll penetrate directly into your bloodstream because your body cannot filter out 2.5 micron sized particles. So, okay, the dust inside your house, in other words, is pretty much just as bad as it is outside. So when we have something like an air tricorder, we have been able to show people that the air, no matter where you are, what is the level of the air that you're actually breathing, even indoors. So usually it's pretty bad. If outside is 174, usually inside will be something a little bit less, like 162. So we advise people to have things like HEPA filters, HEPA filtration. These are the things that are going to take air or dust out of the air. And then you know you're safe because you can see on your sensor that the air is actually clean. So my advice for you guys in this upcoming season, because last year was bad. I don't know how bad it's going to be this year. But I do know this, the smoke problem, it happened several months earlier than normal. Yes. And I don't know why. I have theories, but I can't say for sure why. But I do know it's like last year was really bad. Maybe they're spreading it out so it's bad, not as bad, but bad for a longer period of time. That's possible. But people are definitely burning. Yes. So we know that, okay, we have to take measures. So first of all, let's talk about filters. So you need to have a HEPA filter. This is the only way you're going to get PM 2.5 out of the air inside your homes. If you don't have a HEPA filter, it's not going to work. Air conditioning does not filter air. Not that size. So go online, go to the shops, buy HEPA filters. Last year they sold out all over the country. So buy them now before there's problems in Chiang Mai. Don't wait. I usually advise people to buy at least this. This is a Hatari filter. I bought like pretty much 10 of these things. They're like 4,200 baht. At least on Lazada. You can go down to your local Home Pro and you can buy it there. So there's that. Or a lot of people like to buy this thing here. This is the Xiaomi filter. So you can buy that. This one does an okay job. Although, like, if you look at there's a little number in the front, and some people are confused. They think that that's the actual AQI. That's not AQI. That's just the micrograms per cubic meter of PM 2.5 pollution in the air, which most of you are like, what the heck is that? So that's not AQI. So don't believe that number. And definitely never leave it on automatic mode. If you do, it's not going to clean the air. These things they use a Chinese AQI scale. It's a little bit more lenient than the US EPA scale. So, in other words, the air can be bad, but this sensor here, built into this unit, will say the air is actually okay to breathe. So be careful with that. If you're going to buy this unit, turn it on high and leave it on high all the time. Never automatic mode, because it's not really going to clean your air. Other things. Actually, what I'm buying these days is this thing here. They're pretty cheap, about 800 baht, maybe 1,000 baht. I buy them online on Lazada. What it is they took a Xiaomi filter unit, and then they just put a computer fan on here, and then it cleans the air that way. I've been testing it now for over a year. I built a scientific testing chamber using our sensor technologies, and I discovered that this thing cleans the air just as well as my Hatari units. So actually, I would much rather buy 10 of these, because 10 of these is like 8,000 baht, versus 10 of the Hataris is more like 40,000 baht. So that's a huge difference. So I suggest you guys start looking at things like this. This is actually very good. You know, it looks cheap, it looks DIY, but it cleans the air just fine. So look for things like this. Or if you don't want a filter, they sell things like this. This is Filtree. It's made by 3M. 3M, you put it on top of the inlet for your air conditioning, and then it'll start filtering PM 2.5. I've had many my customers. They show me pictures. They put the filtering in, and they'll show that the PM 2.5 in their house goes down. So at least this is something that you can buy. It's just a sheet of filter paper. So that's going to help, but not nearly as well as a HEPA filter, like a dedicated one. So if you can't get a HEPA filter, at least look for things like this. And by the way, these things also sell out really quick. So when the smoke hits next month, actually in a few weeks, these things will sell out instantly. So don't wait, buy now. Because, you know, we're kind of smart here in this room. We kind of know it's coming, so don't wait. And you need more than one filter. The filters are, you know, having one filter is, okay, good, but when the air is really bad outside, it's not enough. So this is my house in Hamdong. Outside was 311 AQI. And I suspect this year we're going to encounter those levels again. So this is my main room, 144. And this is with 4 filters running. My main room is like close to 100 square meters. And, you know, I have lots of, it's an old house, so there's like cracks in the doors and whatnot. So a lot of dust will come in. So if I only bought one filter and I didn't have a sensor unit, I would never know that the air is actually not that good. With one filter, by the way, it'll only get down to about maybe 200 or something. This is 4 filters and it's still 144. That's pretty close to being unhealthy levels right there. This is my bedroom with one filter. Usually when the air is about 150 outside, I can get it down to about 0 AQI. But when the air is really, really bad, 300 plus, 400 plus, 500, one filter is not enough. This is one filter, it's already 80, about 78, 80. So yeah, buy more than one. Now don't think one is good enough. You're going to need more. Masks, so that's filters, so masks. Now they have these things called N95 masks. N95 means these are designed for small particulates, and it will filter out PM 2.5. Usually you'll see things like this, which is okay. Make sure it says N95 on it. In this case, 3M9501. This is made by 3M. Okay, good. A better one would be something like this. This is also any N95 mask, you want a valve on it. This is an exhaust valve. it makes it more comfortable to breathe, because when you breathe out, there's a lot of hot air and humid air that comes out. If you have a mask that doesn't have an outlet valve, it's going to get hot and stuffy. That's not nice, especially if you have to wear it for like an hour or so. So you want to have a little valve like this. Yeah? These things, they usually cost about 50, 60 baht. So buy them, and again, they sell out quick. Last year, we sold out of these like almost instantly, and we couldn't get them again for another couple of months. And people were struggling all over the country to find these things. Probably this year the supply chain is a bit better, but still, buy them early, you're going to need them. Don't wait. You can also buy these more expensive ones here. Like, there's tons of these things on the market. So you could buy something like this. Honestly, they function just the same. So it might be 200, 300 baht. I've seen some for 1,000 baht. If that's what you want, go for it. But honestly, these cheaper ones work perfectly fine for me. And finally, surgical masks. Now, we've heard in the media that surgical masks, they don't help with PM 2.5. And for the most part, they're not as good as these masks. But I've done scientific testing on these as well, using our sensors. And I showed that, okay, they're not as good as the N95 mask, but these surgical masks, which cost something like 5 baht, at least they filter out maybe about 60% of the PM 2.5. So if you don't have access to these things, at least you can get these and it'll help you somewhat. Better than nothing. And by the way, a t-shirt over your nose does nothing at all. So don't do that. So filters, masks. These are your first line protections against the smoke pollution. And it's coming. And we know it's coming. And it's already actually here. So be prepared. And finally, activism. We need to show people more that this stuff is actually here and how it affects our lives. Now, some people, they like to just take pictures of like this, where it just shows like gray. And that's nice and all, but it doesn't really show you what the problem really is like. Because this could be anything. I mean, you can't really tell. It's like, oh, okay, well, yeah, it's gray. It could be fog. It could be like mist. You don't know. So when people see this online, they don't really care. And what we want people to do is, if we're going to show these things on our social media feed, or online, or show the government, we want them to care. So, we need to show them some reference. That's why, actually, with our sensors, people love showing and posting these things online, because it actually shows people concrete evidence how bad the air is. This is Chiang Mai Airport. This is the where you pick up your luggage at the airport. It's 154 inside the airport. And people are like, oh, okay, well, that's connected to the outside, so, oh, okay, of course it's going to be bad, because, outside was 155. Well, inside it must be better, right? Well, this is like the entry to the gates. And again, here's 154. So, no, don't expect buildings to actually be filtered. Again, air conditioning doesn't do anything. Inside is going to be just as bad as outside, so you have to be prepared. And wear a mask inside. It might be fine, but at least wear a mask. And more importantly, you're going to show people things, show them concrete things like this, to get people to care. We've had bloggers, like this is Richard Barrow. I don't know if you guys know him. He went around, he bought Lamborghinis, and he started showing this. And again, he shows like, okay, Mahonton is 174. And people started listening and actually started caring. Or over here, this is one of my friends, and she came up with the air tricorder is like, because it's portable, she started walking around her house, and she started finding the holes in her house, like my windows or her walls or her doors. And she's like, okay, well, if it's bad here, she's going to start sticking tape. So she started putting tape, started sealing it up, or you can get plastic tarps and do the same thing, just seal it up. And then she saw that her air quality improved remarkably. So again, do things like this. I don't know if you've ever seen the government, they like to spray water. Yeah, you guys laugh. This is Top Hat Gate. So this is 152 AQI. This is me standing a little bit far away from Top Hat Gate. So they're spraying water everywhere. It's like, okay, let's see, does it really do anything? And then over here, next to the water cannon, is 149. So The spraying of water thing is complete utter nonsense. So don't believe that. It doesn't do anything. Yeah. Still, you need to wear a mask. And don't think you're going to spray water at home, it's going to make things better. That doesn't do anything. And if you think you have plants and the plants are going to filter out PM 2.5, no, it doesn't do anything. Yeah? You need to have proper filtration, you need to have masks. And more importantly, start showing people data like this that they can see concretely. This is the only way we're going to get this country to actually care that there's actually a lot of air pollution, no matter where we are, outside or inside. And this was on the Nation website. I think this is Martin's hand. Yeah, he took a picture. Last year, the government, they created a safe zones throughout the city, and then they said, "Oh, it's safe now." But then, well, they took a picture showing that inside the safe zone was 172 AQI. So, but they turned on filters after they got caught, and then it went down. Yes, that's right. So again, when you have the power of data in your hands, you can make a difference. So please keep that in mind. So we've been selling the air tricorder now for a couple of years. We sold several thousand of these units so far. And now we're doing our international launch in the next few months. And now we've already talked to people from all over the world. They want to represent us in India, in the Middle East, in Europe, and now Amazon is looking to carry us as well. So if you want to buy from us, you can go to our website, www.airtricorder.com. We sell these things for 2,699 baht. We give a 1-year warranty for these things, and we stand by our product. Just don't drop it. If you do that, we'll still fix it, but in that case, we'll have to charge you for it. But if anything goes wrong with electronics, we'll fix it for free. And if you don't want to buy from our website, you can also go on Lazada and you can buy from there too. Okay? So I'm informed I have 5 minutes, so
We're 5 minutes over.
Oh, I'm 5 minutes over. Okay. I'm very sorry. So with that in mind, I'm happy to stick around and take any questions after all this is done. Thank you.
No, please. I'm not sorry. This was extremely valuable. I want to get home.